Alright, let's talk about the Hunter class. From a range perspective, you got two different flavors here. The Marksmanship Hunter and Beast Mastery Hunter. Marksmanship Hunter, or often said as Marksman Hunter, is your classic sharpshooter. It's all about big shots and precise hits from a distance. And you don't even need a pet if you don't want one. These days you have the option to choose, without you sacrificing DPS. Your playstyle revolves a lot around abilities like aim shot, a shot with a short charge time, to gain some power and precision. And then the opposite, rapid fire, an instant shot that does a barrage of arrows. So Marksman is for players who like picking off enemies with powerful shots, managing cooldowns and timing those big bursts of damage. The playstyle switches between slower, careful setup phases and fast-paced burst windows, so it keeps you on your toes without being overly complicated. Then there's Beast Mastery Hunter, and this one is for the players who love exotic pets. The cool thing is, Marksman can't tame these exotic pets. You have to be a Beast Mastery to do so you command this exotic beast, or even an entire pack, to tear through enemies while you stay safely at range, supporting them with a barrage of shots. The big selling point? Beast Mastery is fully mobile. Nothing in your core rotation forces you to stand still, so you can keep moving through mechanics while dishing out solid, consistent damage. It actually plays a lot like the fast-paced melee spec, except now you're doing it from a distance, and with a massive stampede of exotic animals at your side. Your enemies won't just be running from your attacks, they'll be fleeing in terror at the sight of earth-shaking horde charging towards them. It's a sight for sore eyes. Performance. The Marksmanship Hunter has just gotten a decent rework, as this spec was considered somewhat anonymous since BFA. It kinda needed this. The core of the rotation is still the same, revolving around aimed shot and rapid fire. But now, with new talents and abilities like Streamline, you are lowering your cast times of your aim shots in multiple ways. The single target is currently amongst the best, compared to all DPS specs. With versatile builds, you can choose exactly what you would like your damage profile to be. Want to go for mostly AoE talents, or choose better single target or two target cleave? The choice is all yours. And thankfully, they will retain their burst orientated profile, so they can perform very well in Mythic Plus. For next season, Season 3, they are looking to be top performance once again. In Mythic Plus, Hunters can be a good help to the group. They might not have as much strong utility as people would like, but still things like Binding Shot and Tranquilizing Shot still helps. It's not as strong as it was in the past, but still, it's there and it's useful. You also do have to help out the healers, as Hunters feel a bit squishy when taking damage. I would go as far as to say, this is probably their weak spot. You got all that movability and burst potential, so I'm sure it's a balance thing. You just have to make sure you stay out of those damage pools, or suffer the consequence. Nothing that a good Olgari healing potion won't solve, and you even have aspect of the turtle if it really comes down to it, to deflect some of that damage. As I mentioned before, the Beast Mastery Hunter stands out as it's one of the few ranged DPS options capable of performing the entire rotation while moving and not losing any DPS. This makes them invaluable for many raid mechanics or tasks required during a fight. Expect to be assigned some of the more challenging mechanics to deal with for your raid team. With your immunity and movability, you will be often the raid leader's favorite to deal with them. Hunters also bring Hunter's Mark, which is on the weaker end of the raid buffs, but still strong enough that you can expect at least one to be present in every raid composition. I just want to highlight the tier set bonuses from Season 3 for the BM Hunter and the Marksman Hunter, as they have a positive impact on the performance this season. This season, they revolve around your hero talent choices. The Dark Ranger tiered talent bonus. Black Arrow and Bleak Powder hit harder, and each black arrow you fire reduces Call of the Wild cooldown. I always like cooldown reductions, as it makes it feel really nice to press that spell. Black Arrow barrages during Withering's fire have a high chance of firing extra arrows, stacking even more pressure on your enemies. Pack Leader tier set. Your pet damage goes up, and every time you summon a beast, you gain a big stat buff based on the type of beast, haste, mastery or crit. Beasts summoned can now trigger Stampede of wild animals, charging your target and dealing heavy damage. And if you're using lead from the front, that Stampede is guaranteed. Sentinel Hunters. When Lunar Storm ends, your next two aim shots deal arcane damage. Sentinel's overall damage gets a big 25% boost, and when you use those empowered abilities, you build up Sentinel stacks faster, causing more explosions from your owl buddy. Marksmanship has two unique builds to choose from, built in their hero talent trees, Dark Ranger and Sentinel. The Dark Ranger has by far the best single target DPS and defensive kit out of the two, and should be used for practically all raid encounters. Dark Ranger replaces Kill Shot with Black Arrow, which mostly fills the same role. As I probably mentioned before, marksmanship hunters excel at burst AoE damage. Despite the cost of being hard limited to 8 targets, it can reach some of the highest peak numbers on these target counts in the entire game. Marksmanship is a highly mobile spec, while losing slightly in this comparison relative to Beast Mastery. It is still ahead of most other range specs and is able to carry out a significant portion of its rotation while on the move. And Sentinel is your strongest hero talent tree for AoE DPS, but lags behind in single target and is generally not picked for raiding, and therefore your strongest hero talent tree for Mythic Plus scenarios. Sentinel doesn't affect your rotation, aside from a small timing adjustment with Lunarstorm. Beast Mastery has also the Dark Ranger and one other option in Pack Leader. Here the choices are not as clear as between AoE and single target. Pack Leader has far superior damage in all scenarios compared to Dark Ranger and is essentially your clear best option, improving damage on your pats and providing you with some good defensive options. Pack Leader doesn't change your rotation much, aside from some occasional procs that slightly adjust your flow. As mentioned, you have unlimited mobility. You can deal all your damage while moving, and you also have a few solid utility options, such as Primal Rage, a 6-minute cooldown that increases haste by 30% for all party and raid members for 40 seconds. This ability being the same as the Shaman's Bloodlust and Mage's famous Time Warp. And let's not forget Implosive Trap and Tranquilizing Shot. Both specs have their own vibe. Marksmanship is about cooldown windows and big hits. Beast Mastery is fast, simple and quick on their feet. Pick the one that appeals to your playstyle the most. It'd be easy to tell a new player to grab the Hunter class for its simple, approachable playstyle, but that wouldn't be fair to what the class is capable of, because in the hands of someone who really knows their toolkit, who really knows their timings and talents, a Hunter can be an absolute powerhouse. So whether you're chasing big crits or constant pressure, there's room to grow and master the class in ways that it keeps it fun, rewarding and lethal. You can be a huge benefit to any raid team or Mythic Plus group. And if those two things are not your playstyle, well, you can shine in your solo play too. With your own tank army, you can take on raid bosses all by yourself without even risking getting hit, making it a really good pick for you to farm all raids with, collecting transmogs, or doing delves all by yourself with just Bran at your side. On the battlefield, playing PvP, you are a force to watch out for. You'll drop their health faster than the enemy can check their health bar, so pick your weapon, pick your playstyle, and let the hunt begin. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this range class summary, I've got some good news. I've got more coming your way. I'll be covering every range spec before the launch of Season 3, and hopefully it'll help you decide what to main. Remember, it's not all about good numbers, it's also about good fun. So good luck out there in Season 3, may your crits be huge and your raid wipes be someone else's fault. Catch you in the next one. Brink's out.